Hi, welcome back to our channel. We had so much fun making our intro clip for everyone to see. I wanted to take the time to just sit down and do a little bit of a chat and give you more of a backstory of our family and why we're doing what we're doing right now. We've had a lot of big transitions in the last 6 months, and it's a lot to go over. So you can't really put that into a few second clip, but hopefully I can break it down for you and give you a little bit more information about us. I guess for your viewing's sake, our story would start a couple of years ago. We had the opportunity and were presented with the chance to take in a family of children that just weren't in the best situation dynamic wise. I guess their family situation wasn't the best, so we took them in and had them for quite a few months, and it honestly looked like we were going to have them in a more permanent situation. So we had decided, we prayed about it, and we decided to put our house on the market because at the time we had a 3-bedroom 2-bathroom house, or 2.5 bathroom house, and we already had 4 children of our own, and it was only 3 bedrooms. So we had 5 children in one room, my older daughter in a room, and then we had 1 child on a pullout in our living room. So it just looked like the best decision was to put our house on the market and start looking for a larger place and a better living situation for everyone, so we could kind of spread out and have a little bit more room. Well, fast forward, the situation changed and the children were actually returned back to their family and their mom and dad. So we sat down and discussed it, and we're like, what do we do? We already have the house on the market. We really didn't want to pull it off the market and then something changed and us have to do it again. So we decided, you know what, it was towards the end of the year, that year in 2024, we decided just to leave it on the market and just pray about it and see what the Lord was going to do in that situation. We went through the holidays in our home. We had, just like always, we love to host. We had Christmas parties, big Thanksgiving dinners, and everything in our home. And then in February of 2025, my husband was presented with the opportunity to step away from his corporate job. They were presented with a downsizing of their company, and was asked if he had plans to leave or if he wanted to leave. It was a really good opportunity because we had a screening business, or we still do have a screening business, doing like pool screens, patios, lanais, things like that. And up until that point, he'd only been able to do that part-time because he was working 40 plus hours a week. Although he was working from home, it just didn't leave much time for him to build his own business. So what happened, they gave him the opportunity. They said, you know, it's February. We need your decision in the next week or two. And if you decide to take this offer, we will leave you on payroll until the end of the year. So he continued to get a paycheck every 2 weeks. We continued to have health insurance. We continued to contribute to his 401k. Just everything stayed the same, except for he did not have to go into the office and he did not have to work. He would just continue like everything was normal, except we felt like that was an opportunity for him to be able to build his own business, all the while being able to still have an income to support our family. I had been a stay-at-home mom for about 2 years now with all the kids. We homeschool, and that's just something that we had done since our oldest was in 2nd grade. So we felt like it was the perfect opportunity that he should take that offer. So in March of 2025, he stepped away from his job, and we started advertising and started trying to build his business more. Well, we had our house on the market since October of 2024, and now it was getting into the summertime, and we were like, it does not look like this house is going to sell. What are we going to do? You've stepped away from your job, and now we have a house that does not look like it's going to sell. So we prayed really, really hard about everything, and we were like, okay, there's nothing we can do. If the house doesn't sell, we'll just take it off the market, and we'll keep praying, and we'll decide what to do the next step. So we were literally down to the last week that we had our house on the market. Roger's job ended on a Thursday. We had a showing on that same Thursday, and on the same exact day, he had a friend coming in from England. So we were kind of busy with that. We didn't really pay too much attention to the house showing or just the situation in general. We kind of were sidetracked and kind of preoccupied with everything. So the showing happened on Thursday. Friday, we got a call that they would like to offer us full asking price for the house, and that they liked it so much they wanted to come back the next day and measure for flooring and just some things that they wanted to do to the house, if that was okay with us. So of course we said yes, you're more than welcome to come and do whatever you'd like since you're offering us full asking price. That was in May. So we actually closed on our house on May 8th, and that was the last time we were in our home. We left. Now, in the months leading up to the house closing, things began to happen to the house. Things began to break in the house. We had already put on a brand new roof the summer before. We had 2 brand new air conditioners. We had put in lifetime windows. Anything that you would want in a house, we had already done, except for the plumbing. So sadly, we came home one night to a very wet area in our home, and when we called the plumbers, we had to spend $10,000 on a new house replumb, which is not what you want to do ever, but you definitely don't want to have to do it when you're in the middle of trying to sell your home. So basically, the people that got our house had a really good deal. They got a brand new home. But that being said, with a 1-income household, our credit score had taken a bit of a dip, and we did not want to do anything, make any big purchases or big life decisions with a low credit score. So we had decided, the house sold in May, we weren't going to look for a new home. We had made the decision that we were going to take some time and purchase an RV and just travel around a little bit, just take some downtime, get as close to debt free as we could possibly get, and then later on down the road we would decide what to do. So we had some sweet friends that were nice enough to let us stay with them. So we moved out of our house in May and we moved into their extra bedroom, which with 3 kids is not that much space. We were only there about 6 weeks, but in that time, we were able to pay off all of our debt. The only debt that we had was our minivan that I still drive, and then Roger's vehicle. We did not pay those off. So our credit score slowly climbed up to the place that we felt, okay, we can get a good interest rate on an RV and a vehicle to pull it with, because we did not have a truck big enough to pull an RV around. So we got everything paid off. Our credit score finally got to a good place that we could go and actually purchase what we wanted to purchase. We looked at a total of 5 RVs before we said, okay, this is the one that we want. I fell in love with our RV. It had everything that we needed, because our oldest was actually moving out and she was going to rent a room from some friends. So she is no longer with us, but we still do have our 3 youngest. So we definitely needed a room for the 2 girls, and then we would like a loft for Samuel, who's 4. So this RV had everything that we had wanted. It had things that we were planning on adding, like solar panels. It had a winterproofing package, so if we were in cold weather, we wouldn't be affected as much. So it just looked like everything that we had wanted. So we were able to put a down payment on that for them to hold it. And we said, we're going to wait about a month before we finish everything. And they were super gracious enough to let us do that. So making a super long story short, we sold our house in May. We purchased our RV and our truck in June. We bought the truck one day, and the next day we picked up our RV and we hit the road. And we have been going ever since. We stayed local, or we still stay local. We traveled back and forth in Central Florida. We went up to the Panhandle and visited some relatives. We went over to one of the coast and enjoyed the beach. And in the middle of all this, we had transitioned out of our church home that we had been in for 8 years. So this is a lot of little side stories, but it will just show you the tremendous amount of change that we had in such a short amount of time. Within a 6-month span, Roger had stepped out of his job. We sold our house. We stepped down from our leadership position and left our church home. And we were basically homeless gypsies. Some people said vagabonds, whatever you want to call it. We didn't really have a place to call our own until we purchased our RV. So that's enough in itself just to be difficult. And as a wife and a mom and a woman, I like security, I like stability, I like all the things. So embracing RV life has been a change for me and a big challenge, but it is proving to be worth it. I am having a lot more time with my family, a lot more time with the kids. We're not rushing around. The hustle and bustle of a 9 to 5 is not there anymore, and we're just able to see things that we normally wouldn't see. One of the main reasons that we decided to start our YouTube channel was just to share our lives with everyone. We've always had a Facebook page to chronicle our endeavors in such a small space. We had a home with a fenced-in backyard, and I can say it was a small space for what we were able to accomplish there. When we had our home, we had a micro farm, you could almost say, in our backyard. We had a flock of about 50 chickens. At one time, we had upwards to 20 to 30 rabbits that we were raising for food. We had a large garden, and we were just trying to learn as many things as we could to become as self-sufficient as we could at the time. So now we are in 350-ish square feet, but if you're the kind of person that likes to do that sort of thing, the homesteading, homemaking, prepping lifestyle, that lifestyle does not go away. That urge to do that does not go away out of your system. It is always going to be part of me. So after a few months in the RV, I really started craving to have a garden again. I said, I miss the garden. I miss our chickens. I just miss having that part of our life to do. And so, God's making a way for us to have that and still live in an RV. He has put people in my path that have said, you know what, we would love it if you would have a garden at our home. We will provide everything that you need, the soil, the raised beds, the tools, the manpower to help you. All you have to do is come and share your knowledge with us and teach us how to do it alongside of you. And that has been so, so exciting. So one of the things that I think that you'll really like with our channel is just seeing our day-to-day lives. We are not by any means an RV channel. This is not about not about RV life. This isn't about RV fixes and what you do if you break down on the side of the road. This is just showing and sharing our transition from a larger space, a family home in a normal, typical neighborhood, to what it looks like for a family of 5 to transition to just almost a third of the space, but still find a way to cook from scratch, still find a way to homestead in a sense. I still have a garden. I'm still prepping. I'm still cooking from scratch. I'm still meal planning. I'm still doing all the frugal things that we've always done, but in a much, much smaller space. And I think going hand in hand with that is the organization of how to keep a small space livable and clean and organized so that you can function in such a small space. We make it work. There has been hard times. We've, felt like we were tripping over each other at times, but for the most part, it's been very easy for us to transition into such a small space. So if you're just curious about our lives, we would love for you to join us. Come along and see what we can get into. We will be sharing meal prepping, meal planning, basically cooking from scratch, anything that you would think of a typical homestead, pioneer lifestyle even, but we're doing it from an RV, which may not be normal, but it's our new normal. So we would love it if you would come along with us, like our channel, subscribe, follow us so that you'll be notified anytime we make a new video. Right now, we're hoping to video and film and post 2 times a week, probably on Tuesdays and Saturdays. That seems to be our sweet spot that we're thinking, because during the week we do a lot of things homeschool wise. I'm home with the kids, so we're just going to be sharing our day-to-day life and things like that. And then on the weekends, we always try to do something as a family, some kind of adventure. So we already are going to be able to share with you local places like I am right now. This is one of our favorite parks that we found near where we're staying, and we just like to go on little adventures like that, but on a low budget. Because remember, we still are that one income family, and right now we are still trying to build our business and grow our business and pray and see what God's going to lead us into doing. So hope you enjoyed watching this video and this gave you a little bit more information about our family. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and if you have any video ideas that you would like to see us film and share with you, also leave that in the comments. We can't wait to see you next time. Bye.